going on? I'm not trying to ignore you. What's going on, everyone? Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again today. And we're just sitting in the same fucking spot we do every other video now. We just sit right here. It's just, so there's like the building. I don't know. There's like CIBC, I think. TD, possibly. And anyway, so we got about 45 minutes to a date. It's actually a follow-up from the speed dating. Can't give you any more than that, obviously, but you get the idea. Got the skin on. I think it still smells like smoke. So I might have to mention that. But yeah, it smells like smoke from the bonfire from a few nights ago. That's all right. But anyway, I was just out getting some Rotten Ronnie's, a little McDonald's, and something happened that I wanted to talk about here really quickly. Notably, by the way, that was probably the longest wait I've ever had for a junior chicken and McDouble. And they made 2 errors trying to give me the meal. Like, it was bad. Because she tried to give me a coffee and then a bottle of water. And I was like, dude, I just ordered, like doesn't a fountain pop come with this shit? A little bit of a language barrier happening possibly, but we got it. We got them, boys. So, the story of today, though, man, well, I'm in the lineup, and this young chap comes up, and he goes, like, straight up to the counter, and not in the sense that you would order. Like, he went up for something else, and she passed him, like, some type of brochure, some bullshit, and he walked off. That's literally all that happened. And, I mean, now, I'm just assuming here, but there was signs everywhere saying, now hiring. Young guy comes up, directly for a question. She hands him like some type of pamphlet, like a 1-sheet thing that looked like it might have had like a URL on it, and he walks off. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. Now, I'm not a super old fella, but I have some old school ways about me, apparently, and one of them is something super simple that I thought mostly everybody in the world kind of knew or did or would prefer. But maybe I'm in a generation that just doesn't exist anymore, that's possible too. But when I was younger, man, when I went around like that, so I was about 18 at the time. Now, I mean, this guy could have been younger, could have been older, whatever. There's a couple of things you do right away when you're going to do that, and the first thing is you actually dress up. So you look a little bit presentable. You walk in, even if you have a button-up shirt, not even tucked in. You just look a little punctual. Guy's like winter jacket and a book bag, doesn't look that hot. Okay, so he walks in. Secondly, well, you never do it with your mother. She could have been there. I don't know. She could have been the employee. I don't know. But yeah, you never bring your mother in. And the third thing is that's where you go shake a hand, right? You come in, you draw up a resume, right? Clean resume, like literally like piece of paper that's sparkling clean, not like fucking crumpled up. You hand that right into them. And if you can, preferably, you get the manager. You're like, who's the manager right now? You just walk in for a manager. You don't even ask for a resume. You said, I want a manager. I got a question. Manager comes out. He's like sweating. He has no idea what you're here for, right? Like he's stressed right out. You say, hey, my name, I don't know. First name in my mind is Austin. Hey, my name's Austin. Sorry to bother you. I want to drop off this resume and put it right in your hands, just so you know who I am. Really looking for a job. Get my feet wet here. Thank you very much. And you get out of there. And what that does to me, like my opinion of this online resume thing is bullshit. Resumes are bullshit, right? Anything can be in a resume. You can just fluff a resume and make it look good. A lot of people won't even check that stuff, right? If there's no practical, there's nothing. They just take this immediate flight risk on you, and then you just waltz in and you don't know what you're talking about. So when you walk in, all right, with the resume in hand, to me, you get an idea who that person is right away. Right? How they present themselves, right? How they dress, how they come up, do they shake your hand, right? I know it sounds like fucking stupid, but is it a good handshake? Like, is it just this whimpery, little weak, feeble hand, right, coming up? Like, you know, is the mother there? Like, it shows a lot, right? And you get an idea, right? You can see someone's age, because I mean, I don't fucking know. Do you put your birthday in a resume? I think that's retarded, right? You put what's important, my experience, right? If you don't have any, it shows. But if you walk in, I think it shows a little bit of guts. It'd be no different than asking a woman out in person rather than online. You do that in person, you come in, you shake hands, you look good, you present yourself, you meet the manager, you get that in person, how's it going? And they get a face to a resume. It's not just this blank fucking, all right, whatever. But they get a very, very brief idea of who you are. And if you're lucky, you can talk to them for a minute or two. You can actually sit there and have a quick conversation, which I've done before. One of the times I did it, I just went up to a meat department. I've been a meat cutter before. I went up to a meat department in a retail store, and I was just like, I just went up and I was like, hey, listen, is there a manager out and about? Manager came out. I said, hey, listen, just sorry to bother you. And I wasn't even, I dressed up, no resume in hand, I think, too. I was like, hey, listen, sorry to bother you. I was like, I'm just wondering, like, trying to get away from this online applying. I was like, do you guys have anything in store? Like, are in this department? I was like, I've got 6 years of experience. I'm looking for some work. You know what I mean? Maybe for the long term, I'm not too sure. But he said, listen, we do it all online, right? So like I did have to do it. But he goes, listen, I'm going to look out for that resume. I'm going to keep an eye out for it and let me know when you apply. So like come back in and tell me like, hey, I put it in, because he said, you know what, we do have a position opening that isn't posted just yet. But he's like, you get your name in there. He's like, I'll specifically be on the lookout. Took my information. And that's how you do it, right? And you get that foot in the door. Now, I naturally have turned that one down, obviously, because I do IT. But it just shows, man. It just shows to be confident. It's like no different than you go on a date, right? You know what they always say, man? It's like the 3 C's, right? It's like cool, calm, collected, and it just keeps going, honestly. Like, you could just say confident in there or whatever. But just, just be level-headed and go in there. And it's just seeing that there, like, it just brings back those memories of, like, doing it that way, like, going in and you're being fucking nervous and being awkward and being like, wow, this is weird, and then realizing that you've made that interpersonal connection rather than just a blank, like just a random resume online that doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? It's just like, they're not even really looking half the time. They're just throwing a dart blindly at a board, and they just hit a resume and they're like, oh, we'll take them, right? Then they find out the girl, they misgendered her, then they get sued, and then they're in prison for 7 years because they misgendered someone incorrectly. Okay, so anyway, just thought it was interesting to talk about. Sorry this is going on a little longer than I wanted to. It's about 7 minutes now. We're almost going on to. Thank you. I don't know if you heard that. You don't want to. Anyway, and then, so we got the date coming up. And just like I said, I figured we'd rant about that shit. And have a good one. I know, I'll keep making videos here. I just find it very convenient. I come out on lunch hour and I just make videos. Like literally 2 minutes from work. Like, I can see my building. So it's just very convenient to me to do them here. I might just keep doing this. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad strat. I just hate that the camera shakes a lot, but you'll get over it. All right. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Let me know what you folks think. Can't say guys anymore, of course, right? I have to keep it fucking... Don't even get me started. All right.